Hi guys, today we are going to see another question on LeetCode, and that is partition equals subset sum. So first we read the question. Given a non-empty array containing only positive integers, find if the array can be partitioned into two subsets such that the sum of the elements in both subsets is equal. We have two nodes, each of the array element will not exceed 100, and the second one is the array size will not exceed 200. सो बेसिकली क्वेश्चन में क्या है कि हमको एक एरे दी हुई है और हमको चेक करना है कि क्या हम एक ऐसा सबसेट बना सकते हैं इस एरे में से जिसको करने के बाद ऐसे दो सबसेट्स हम ऐसे बना सकते हैं जिनका सम इक्वल हो जाए. ओके, ये हमको चेक करना है. अगर ये कंडीशन ट्रू होती है देन वी हैव टू रिटर्न ट्रू, एंड इफ इट इज फॉल्स देन वी हैव टू रिटर्न फॉल्स. सो लेट्स सी व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इन दिस क्वेश्चन. सो फर्स्ट we will find the sum of all the elements in this array. To finding the sum of all the elements in this array, I am simply going to use a for loop that will be traversing this array from the first element to the last one and will find the sum. Okay, so this sum will store the sum of this array. Now I am going to check whether the sum is even or odd. You know, that makes a lot of difference. मैं ऐसा क्यों चेक कर रहा हूँ कि even है या odd है? उसके पीछे ऐसा कारण है कि अगर सम जो है वो इवन आएगा तो ही वी शुड प्रोसीड. इफ द सम इज ऑड देन वी शुड नॉट प्रोसीड फर्दर. व्हाई? बिकॉज इफ द सम इज ऑड देन यू कांट ब्रेक इट इनटू टू इक्वल subsets, right? And that is why we would return false over there and we would not proceed further. But if the value of sum is even, then we will move ahead. Okay, and then so if the sum is even, then we will move ahead, and if it is odd, then we are simply going to return false, right? If the sum is even, then we will be finding sum by 2. Now this sum by 2 thing must make sense to you, because what it is doing, it is, you know, there is a subset 1 and there is a subset 2, right? And when you add these two subsets, you will get the sum, right? But also we know that s1 and s2 are equal, so I can represent s1 as s1 equals to sum by 2. Sum by 2 over here. Okay, so I will be using another variable max for this purpose, and in max variable I am going to store sum by 2. Okay, this question can be solved from multiple approaches, and some of them being the naive approach, where you can just calculate each and every sum possible in this array and then check whether that is equal to max or not. Another approach can be backtracking, but in this particular video we are going to use the dynamic programming approach, and for that I am also going to use some of memoization techniques over here. Don't worry if you don't know about any of these things. I am going to provide the link in the description box, as well as we are also going to discuss about that in this video lecture. Okay, so what we are going to do here is that we are going to use recursion. Okay, but recursion के साथ एक बहुत बड़ा ड्रॉबैक रहता है, और वो ये है कि जब हम recursion यूज करते हैं तो we waste a lot of time. Okay, we waste a lot of cycles by repeating things, and for that purpose we create an array and we store that answer so that we don't keep on repeating finding those answers, right? And that is why we have that array. So we are going to apply the similar concept over here, and we are going to declare the result array, which is going to be a multi-dimensional array, and that is going to be of the size nums.length and max. Basically, whenever you are going to declare this array, first is going to be the size of the array and the second depends on the question. And in this particular question you might observe that we are interested in the sums of elements, and that is why I am taking this max element over here. Okay, so rows and columns have been fixed for this array, and that are nums.length and max. Apart from this, I am also going to use two variables, current and index. I'll tell you later what these variables are going to do. Apart from this, in this array you will find only three numbers, 0, 1 and 2. 0 is the indication that we have not visited that particular index of the array. If you see 1, you must return true, and if you see 2, then it is false. Okay, so basically what we are doing here is that for an array, if we go at a particular row for a particular I comma j, So if we have result of 2 and 3, what this means is that the second element of this array, this input array, has the sum 3 or not. Okay, and if it is equal to 1, then it is true, and then it is true. That means that yes, the sum is equals to 3. If it is 2, then it means that false. No, the sum is not equals to 3. And if it is 0, then we have not visited this point of array yet. Okay, so this is the concept behind the question. Now we will move on to the code. In the code part, first I am going to declare a variable total, and I am going to initialize it to 0, and then I am going to use a for loop to find the total of to find the sum of all the elements of the array, input array, and this total is going to be nothing but the sum of all the elements of array. And then, as I told earlier, I am going to check whether that is even or odd. If it is odd, then I am going to return false, and I don't want to worry about what happens later. And but if it is true, then I'm going to move ahead. I'm going to find max, that is going to be total by 2. Remember, our aim is to find such sum which is equals to max. Okay, and this can be visualized in the form of a binary tree approach, where you have choice whether to include a point or to exclude a point. What I'm trying to say here is that you have pretty choices, like you want to include 1 or you don't want to include 1, you want to include 5 or you don't want to include 5, you want to include 11 or you don't want to include 11. When there is this probability, when there is the if and whether condition, then we think about applying the dynamic programming approach. And don't worry if you are not still clear with what dynamic programming is, I'm going to share the links in the description box. So for now, as I told in the approach part, we are going to declare the result array, that is going to be whose rows are going to be equal to nums.length and the columns are going to be max. And then I'm going to declare another function, that is partitionable, and it takes 5 parameters. First one is max, int current, int index, the nums array and the results array. Okay, so these are the things that we feed into this is partitionable array. Basically, is partitionable array is the most important thing of this code, where actually we would be applying our brains and where actually the calculations takes place, right? So let's hop into this is partitionable function. In this is partitionable function, we are going to apply recursion, and whenever we apply recursion, we need to have some base conditions, right? So here the base condition is, first base condition is if current is greater than max. Current and index, I forgot to tell about what current and index variables are doing. Actually current index is nothing but the sum of all the elements up to which we are presently at some iteration, right? And index is the current index that at which we are. Okay, so that's nothing to worry about. So if current is greater than max, then we have overshoot the condition. Okay, so we need to return false. Or if index is greater than nums.length I'm -1, then it would give us that, what should I say, array index out of bound Here the first base condition is if current is greater than max. Current and index are two variables and you don't need to worry about them. They are nothing but index is the particular index at which we are presently, and current is the sum of all the elements that we have included till now. Okay, nothing to worry about. So if current is greater than max, then we have overshooted, and that is why we need to return false. Similarly, if index is greater than nums.length -1, so we have moved ahead of the array. Okay, we have crossed the size of this array, so we need to return false. So this is the first and easiest base condition that we will have in this recursion problem. Then another base condition is if current equals to max, or we have done some applications and we find that the sum of elements, that is the current, and that gets equal to max, so we are going to return true because that is what we are looking for, right? Okay, and next condition is if results index cur equal to 1, then we have to return true. I talked about this earlier in the video. If we see 1, then we are going to return true. If we see 2, then we are going to return false. And then comes the recursion part. Here in this part of code, what we are doing is that this particular part is with including this particular number, and this part is without that number. मतलब यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है कि if you observe current plus nums of index, so here we are including nums of index and here we are excluding nums of index. So we are finding both the approaches, whether this is going to work or whether this is going to work. So if any of these work, we are going to return true. The res variable is of boolean data type, and that is why it is going to store whether it is true or whether it is false. So next we move ahead. Result of index and current is equals to result. Whether if the value of result is true, then we are going to put the value 1, and if the value of result is 2, then we are going to put the value false, right? We have that in mind. So basically, what is the significance of this 1 and this 2? If we see 1 at a particular position, then we are not going to iterate ahead, because if we see 1, then we know that okay, we are going to find the sum that is going to be half, and we are going to find two subsets that are going to be equal in this array. So we don't need to move ahead, right? But if we see 2, then we are going to move ahead and we are going to apply recursion again, right? So that was all about this problem, and at last we are going to return res variable, which is again of the data type boolean. So it is going to return true or false depending on the question.